Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. So today we're talking about the biggest surprises that I had this year, book related, but I actually made some pretty cool discoveries this year. It was a year where I actually experimented, I feel like, a lot with what I read usually. So it's been a cool year, honestly, reading wise. I also read a lot of like 4 stars mostly, but honestly in general, pretty good. So let's just talk about the biggest surprises that I had this year. So the first one is actually not that big of a surprise, but I was actually quite impressed. So this is What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. And this is Kate Alice Marshall's first adult novel. I love her YA horror books. I love them so much. They're one of my favorite books of all time. The Rules for Vanishing. I love that book so much. But I wasn't expecting much of this because it's just like a normal thriller. But it was actually super cool, super engaging. I read it in one sitting. I couldn't put it down. So honestly, kudos for her. It's just a really cool story, and it's basically about 3 friends, and one comes back to the small town that they used to live in. It's very creepy. I really liked it. Then I feel like the biggest surprise of this year was this. I started reading the Warhammer universe basically, and it's been a ride to say the least. I've read a lot of the horror books. I read Briardark. I read Gothgul Hollow. I also read a lot of the 40k too. I read Eisenhorn. I read Night Lords. I'm starting the Horus Heresy, which I'm on book 2. And then I feel like my favorite one out of all of them was this one, The Watcher in the Rain. This is actually a novella, and I feel like it might be one of the best books that I've read in a long time. I feel like I had the same feeling with this as I had with Hellmouth last year. That is a really condensed story, but at the same time, it's just so fucking cool and so fucking well done that it does not need anything else. Straight to the point, super creepy. But it's basically set on a planet on Warhammer in general, and the planet is basically sinking due to this heavier rain. So they are evacuating, and we have 2 loyal subjects to the Empire. One of them tries to flee. You know, she's just like, wait, I need to go. There's something watching me. There's something creepy out there. Something is really wrong here. And she tried to leave, but she cannot. But one of the Inquisitors has to stay and hunt her down. And they are both stranded on this planet with something out there in the rain. It's just so fucking cool. It's actually, I believe, only available on audio. You need to get this. It was amazing. The atmosphere was great. It's also a graphic audio, so it has rain sounds. Dude, I'm listening to this one again today. It was fantastic. Amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. I'm loving the Warhammer universe, honestly. It's just been like my discovery this year, and I'm so into it right now. Then, Light from Uncommon Stars. This was a surprise because this was not at all what I expected. This might be probably one of the weirdest books that I've read in my entire life. And I'm okay with it, honestly. But at the same time, it was so bizarre. So, when I read this, the summary of this, I was told that this was basically about a story of a violinist that made a deal with the devil, and she has to deliver souls, I feel like, to retrieve her music, basically. And then there's so much more to this book. It's actually also a science fiction story. That just came out of nowhere. I just don't want to spoil it, but it definitely came out of nowhere. It's just so I was so confused when I first read this, because I was just like, what is this? But I definitely enjoyed it. I do have to say that I had to listen to the beginning like a couple of times because I was just like so confused. But it's definitely worth checking out, so Just do it. If you're hesitating, just do it, because it's bizarre, but it's definitely worth it. Then this is Lightblade, and I really like this. I had previously read Gunmetal Gods, and Gunmetal Gods and I don't work. I don't know what it is, but we don't work well together. In a way, I do want to try book 2. But at the same time, there were some things about book 1 that I felt a bit weird about. So when I got this as a judge from SPFFC, I was just like, okay, the world is going to be great. Let's just see the plot. And I was so surprised by how well the author made this. Like, it's more of a, I feel like it has a lot of little RPG elements, like a little bit of grinding here and there. But I just really liked it. It's definitely science fantasy. It's not science fiction or fantasy only. But I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I found myself just flying through it. I was running a code basically, and I really liked it. It was actually my favorite for the contest, but there's a lot of discussion with what's considered sci-fi and not, and it's hard to give an award to a book that's mostly fantasy rather than sci-fi, and I get that, but it was still my favorite out of the whole bunch. It was still my favorite, and I really liked it. I cannot recommend it enough. Definitely check it out. Then another sci-fi book that actually really surprised me, and I'm definitely in the minority, but this is Paradise 1. And you see, I'm very weird and very picky with my science fiction books. I really like specific tropes, and when I don't get them, I just don't enjoy the book that much. And I got all of them from this book. I got horror, I got isolation, I got a gigantic cliffhanger at the end of this. When is book 2 coming out? I need to check that out. But it's also very long, and you see, I do prefer longer books. I really like a huge chunker, but the thing is, a lot of people felt that it wasn't necessary for this book to be this long. And I kind of agree, but I love to explore horror. I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but I love to explore horror in the sense that I like to see different sceneries of horror. Not just like, yeah, she's isolated on the ship. Okay, let's just move forward. No, she is in this ship alone, and there's definitely different things that are going to be haunting her. And I love that. I love that we had like fucking huge load of things coming at her. I really like that. But I'm extremely mad at the ending. Like, it was such a huge cliffhanger. If you don't like cliffhangers, do not read this book. By any means, just wait for the sequel to come out. Because holy shit. It's one of those that is just like fucking cut. And I'm like, wait, what? Very annoying. Very annoying. But I really liked it. Honestly, I kind of want to read it, even though it's very long. Then, a huge surprise for this year, The Fear of Moncroix. I got this book based on its cover alone, which is fucking beautiful. I also have art of it, and it's just amazing. And I obviously grabbed this because it's Vampire Center. It's Vampire Center. And I love some good vampire stories. I've been actually hunting for some vampire books lately, so if you know some, just let me know in the comments below, please. But I love this because my favorite type of vampire are like the royal vampires, you know, like Castlevania type of vampires. And this book is one of the first one that gives me that feeling, along with the Wolf Again trilogy. Same cool feeling. Though I have to say this one has more magic than the other one. The other one is more like grimdark and let's just kill these fucking bitches. But this is actually really cool. Really cool. I really liked it. I wished it was longer. but we basically have like our kind of more of a Carmilla type of character. Then we have a vampire hunter, and then we have a vampire that hunts other vampires. A lot going on in here, but it's great. I really, really liked it. It was such a great surprise. It's a fantastic vampire book. So if you like those kind of royal, regal vampires, this one is for you. Definitely loved it. I cannot wait. I actually wish we had more. I wish we had more. Then I finally got a good sci-fi Spanish book. It took me a long time to find one, but it was Simbiosis. And I love this. This is going to be set 100% on my favorites of the year. This was amazing. I was so invested in this story. I didn't want it to end. It has so many things that I love. It's also mixed media. Every single chapter, it starts with like news or like a chat or I don't know, a lot of things. And I also love the way it's narrated. It's very similar to The Passage, where you have like a gigantic cast of characters, and they are not like immediately interlinked with each other, but a small thing on their stories is linked with the main plot. Fucking love that. Fucking love that. And it's not very common, and I love that I find it here. But this story is basically about humans discovering that aliens exist, and they enter like this symbiotic relationship with them, because basically the aliens need to be on a body to survive, and in exchange for that you can basically regulate your emotions. They have like advanced technology. They were made a lot of discoveries thanks to them. It's cool, the concept is great, but there's also people in here now killing people who do not have an alien with them. It was a great concept. I loved it so much. One of my favorite books for sure. This is a little bit of cheating, because was this a surprise? Not really. I already thought this book was going to be amazing, honestly, but it still surprised me a lot. This is the Trials of Ashmount, and this is so dark. And I loved it for it. I've been really struggling with finding good dark fantasy lately, because I feel like the dark fantasy and the grim dark fantasy tag has been given very freely lately. And I don't know, but this one was dark. This one was dark. There's a baby throne. Just like at the beginning of the fucking book. And it was just like fucking surreal. I was like, damn. They actually did. I loved the part of the academy, especially set on a fucking volcano. Also, cover. This cover talks to me in such a different level. Like, it's amazing. It's just like, if I picture fantasy, this is where I picture, you know? So, I was going into it with very high expectations, but at the same time, it surprised me a lot with how dark it was and how cool the plot is, honestly. I already have book 2, which I'll be reading this month. It was great. I highly, highly recommend this one. If you like dark fantasy, it will not disappoint. Then, this is a very different book from the rest, but this is The Never-Ending End of the World. And I was sent this with a lot of like cool trinkets, and I went into this knowing that it was a sci-fi book. It was a sci-fi book about people getting stuck in loops. So basically, when this phenomenon occurred, people were stuck in different loops with different lengths, basically. And now, if you get them out of their loop, they attack you and they die, basically. So you have to just like not run into them. And it's a generational story also, and it's told on a diary form, which I also love. I love diaries. Like, I don't know what it is, but diaries and letters, it's my thing. It's my thing, and I love it so much. But it was actually great, honestly. I really, really liked it. Oh my god, I need to spit this up. I really, really liked it. It's more of a chill, laid down type of story. The ending is great. It has like a very like plot heavy ending with a lot of twists, which was great, honestly, in my opinion. But this was very surprising. I really, really liked it. It's a very like, it's a book, if you liked Station 11. If you like the Station 11, this is the type of book for you. Then down to the last three. I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. I love this. This is a horror fan. Well, not a horror. Not a horror fantasy. This is a horror book. And first, cover. But I thoroughly enjoyed this, honestly. I love when horror stories are related to art for some reason. I don't know why, because I'm not really an art person, but I love when there's something related to it. And in this one, we follow a ballerina, and she gets into this river and makes a pact with this entity, and the entity wants her powers, basically, and she starts turning evil. It's just so cool to follow a villain, dude, because she is definitely a villain here. Well, there's another villain, for sure, but she is definitely the villain here, and I really love that. It was done super cool. There's a romance that is there. It actually fit very well with the book in general, so I wasn't really annoyed by it. I wasn't a huge fan, but I was also not annoyed by it. So it was cool. Check it out. Love Tales of Ambition, honestly. I feel like this might be one of the biggest surprises of the year, but I read The Invisible Light, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And why is this so surprising? Well, first of all, I don't know where my copy is. I know it's here. I cannot find it. You might be seeing it. If you're seeing it, just let me know. I rearranged the shelves, and I don't know where anything is. So if you're seeing it anywhere, please just let me know. But it was a little bit over visual, because as a lot of people now, I really like her stories, but I do not like the execution of them. Like, the plots always seem so interesting, but the execution is not the best. And I was gifted this one, so I still had it, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to try and read it. And dude, it was so fucking good. Like, damn, I was so into this book. Like, I could not stop reading it. I actually read it in Spanish, and I was just like, okay, I need to read this. I ate it up. Loved the story so much, because I was feeling like reading a very like character-heavy story, and this one was it. Oh man, it's basically about, well, you probably know what it is about, but it's basically about a girl who makes a deal with the devil to be immortal, basically. And she goes through all different stages of her life, and she's telling you them. And I love them so much, because the trick is that, and no one can actually remember her. Once the interaction stops, they cannot remember her. And the only one who can is the fucking devil. And it's just so cool, dude. I actually really like this. I'm just so shocked. But it was fucking great. And the last one is The Art of Prophecy, which took me by such a surprise, because I thought this was some YA book. And I don't know why I felt that. But this one is great. This is a wuxia fantasy, a martial arts fantasy, and I've been loving it, honestly. I'm reading book 2 this month, and I thought it was a duology because on Goodreads it's only 2 books, but it's actually going to be a 3rd one coming out next year. It's a small victory, but I was definitely pleasantly surprised by this. But yeah, this one was actually great. I cannot recommend it enough. Honestly, check it out. If you like martial arts, check it out. It's also very different from the rest. It has a weird change in the middle, but I didn't mind it, honestly. The more I think about it, the more I'm fine with it. And also, cover. This is the year of the covers. Like, the cover game is just so step up. Some of them. Others are fucking garbage. But incredible covers here, honestly. The fantasy covers going strong this year. So yeah, those were my most surprising books of this year. I love them, actually. I'm still thinking that it was quite a good reading year. So have you read any of these? What was your most surprising book of the year? Please just let me know down in the comments below. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye.